That's so nice. I'm the black sheep of his family. Hola. I know you can do better than that for me. Hola. Ay, that's better. You enjoy Ron. He's good, huh? Good. Well, like he says, mi nombre es Juanita Lolita. And I need to know, please, if you can say for me, Juanita Lolita. Juanita Lolita. It's very good. It's a funny name, huh? You're laughing. I will take that as a yes. It's a funny name. It's a funny name. And you know what is funny to me about me having the name Juanita Lolita? I don't talk like that. I don't even know how to speak Spanish. He's dying. Show's over. Thank you very much. Juanita Lolita, kid you not, that is my real name. My parents did that to me. That is my first and middle name, Juanita and Lolita, and my last name growing up, Mills. Juanita Lolita Mills. Do you have any idea how hard it is to have the name Juanita Lolita and not know how to speak Spanish? Especially in Florida? Goodness. But what's funny, y'all, is my older sister, she speaks fluent Spanish. But that's because she was born in Miami. And I was born in Florida. I got my name because I am the product of a West Virginia hillbilly. Oh, West Virginia? Let me see your teeth. Pass them up so I can show everybody. Come on. My family right there. The other half of me is a New York City Puerto Rican. So that makes me a hillbilly Rican. And all that means is that deep down inside of me, half of me does not like the other half. It means that half of my family came to this country on a boat, and the other half was standing on the shore, shooting at them. I'm serious. Y'all should see my parents' photo album from their wedding, because it looks like only half of the family came, the Hispanic side, because the hillbillies all wore camouflage and you couldn't see them. It's just a bunch of floating heads with no teeth. But it's funny, our family reunions are hysterical because I have the backwoods West Virginia family. Backwoods, you know, the ones that when they talk to you, they don't move their teeth, their lips. Y'all seen them? Like, how you doing? I ain't seen you since forever. Look at you. You can go to, I see you. Look at her. Look at how she's looking at her. Look at that. Right? And then my Hispanic side of the family is going, what are they saying to me? Do they not speak English? What's wrong with them? But I've got to where I no longer trust the Spanish-speaking side of my family, okay? Because they take advantage of the fact that I don't know how to speak Spanish. They do. And they're always trying to feed me Puerto Rican food because it's so good. And it is. I like Puerto Rican food. Don't tell me what's in it. All right? It's good, but do not tell me what's in that food. I was eating something the other day, and it was called morcilla. Right? They did not tell me what was in that food. So they said, oh, try it. It's good. You're going to like it. Have the morcilla. And I go, okay. So I had a big bite of it. And I'm like, yeah, this is pretty good. What's in it? Pero it has rice and spices to make it good and blood. And the way we keep it together is we put it in a, intestine. Pero why you throwing up? It's good for you. And I found out, too, that even though I don't know how to speak the Spanish language, I know how to speak the Spanish body language. Y'all know what I'm talking about, don't you? Right? My Spanish relatives, if they look at me and go, no, then I know things are good. Right? But the minute they go, ay, oh, she says she like your dress. We don't like the dress. I think they're getting away with it. It's hysterical, man. But my daddy is the hillbilly. He had called me up the other day. He said, honey, guess what? He said, I just got John Wayne on VD. I said, Daddy, the D in DVD is very important. He said, no, it's not. It's the same thing. I said, oh, no, it's not. John Wayne on DVD is a good country western. John Wayne on VD is a strange documentary. But that is a hard marriage right there, hillbilly and a Puerto Rican, right? But I kind of think all marriages are difficult, aren't they? Do we have married people here? Okay, do you see that total lack of enthusiasm? Y'all were like, okay, what'd she bring that up for? Because people change when they get married, don't they? They do. Like, for instance, when we were dating, if I said I was thirsty, he'd go, oh, baby, you let me get you something to drink. And he'd run and get it, right? And now that we're married, if I say I'm thirsty, he'll go, get me something while you're up. It's true. Before we got married, I thought he was Superman. I did, because there was nothing he couldn't do. Nothing. And I still think he's Superman. I'm just convinced that gold wedding band is kryptonite. Because ever since he said I do, he don't no more. But truthfully, y'all, I realize that I've changed too. Okay, I have. And I was wanting to put a spark back in her marriage, right? Well, one of the ladies in my Bible study, she says, what you have to do is go online like I did and get a fishnet bodysuit. I don't think that's going to add a spark to my marriage. Nope, I don't think he wants to see a sumo wrestler in a hammock. Do you know what I'm saying? Y'all, the fat on my body would come squishing out of those little holes. Let me give you the visual. It'd be like one of them Play-Doh barber shops. Have you seen that? Where it just squishing out like that. The only thing that's going to do is stop him from ever going fishing again. That's all that's going to do. Serious. And they also said we should have a date night, right? Married couples have date nights, right? Yeah, my husband loved the idea of date night, loved it, until he found out it was with me. That's okay. But it is important to have some Christian friends in your life, isn't it? It is important to have some Christian friends in your life, because my other friends, when I talk to them about my husband, you know, their advice is, you should kill him. I can't do that. But my Christian friends, I tell them about my husband, and they're like, oh. Well, bless his little old heart. I believe we should pray for him. And then you need to kill him. And we'll pray for forgiveness. It's much better advice right there. Being married is now one of the reasons that I no longer eat healthy. It is. I saw this woman on TV the other day. She goes, oh, yes, if you take good care of yourself. And if you eat right, you could live to be 100 years old. I took one look at my husband. I went and got a cheeseburger with chili fries. That's a long time to be with one man. I mean, he feels the same way. Who do you think was driving the car? Serious, because people, it's crazy getting married, man. It's weird. And you know what's funny is the other day my husband said, I did it. I finally accepted Jesus Christ into my life. And I said, you did, honey? I said, that's amazing. I know, 16 years we've been married. I said, that's amazing. What was it? He said, it was what the preacher said. I said, what did the preacher say? He said, there's no marriage in heaven. He said, well, 16 years with you felt like an eternity. I couldn't imagine what an eternity was going to feel like. That's all right. At least he's going to be there. I tell you, we've been married a while. When you've been married to someone a while, you figure that you know them, right? You know your spouse. I realized this past Christmas that I don't know my husband because he gave me a gun for Christmas. A gun. I guess nothing says the birth of our Savior and peace on earth like a semi-automatic weapon. And I'm sorry, but when you've been married to a woman for almost 20 years, I don't think giving her a gun's the best decision to make. Seriously, this year I'm hoping for bullets. A couple years ago, he gave me a treadmill, at least the gun I'm fixing to use. Think about that. And if I did anything now, the judge would just say, it's been over 10 years. I'm sure he had it coming. He gave her the gun. Especially if I get a woman judge, right? She'd be, case dismissed. And I'd plead insanity, because being married will drive you crazy, and you men know that just as well as women. You men know that. You men will come home and say, honey, get dressed. We're going to go out to dinner, right? And then you get that woman out to dinner, and it takes her 20 minutes to order something off the menu. Look at the heads nodding. It's true, right? It's true. Now, ladies, we have to do better. I mean, after all, it's McDonald's. You know that's the truth. I know it's a special occasion when he takes me inside. No drive-through for you, baby. Happy anniversary. Ooh, and if he takes me to the McDonald's that's inside the Walmart, he considers that dinner and a show. You've been there, haven't you? But I have some advice for you. And this works for men or women. You want your significant other to think before they speak. You tell them you want to become a comedian. My husband is so afraid of giving me new material. He hasn't spoken to me in months. Of course, it doesn't help at all that I'm following him around with a pen and piece of paper going, oh, you need to slow down. I wish I was wearing a wire. And then I realized, y'all, I was wearing a wire. Victoria's Secret could make a fortune if that underwire had a microphone. Wouldn't that be great? When he goes, what? I never said that to you. Oh, yeah? Well, let's review the tape.
Actually, I'm not sure which way to go.
You like that? Yeah, that's my Victoria's Secret agent undies. 0038. Okay, 32. Whatever. And I have a disclaimer to make. I did not get this at Victoria's Secret, all right? Because I don't shop there. Any of y'all shop there? Do you really? Do you really? I think that's why they call it Victoria's Secret. Because when you get home, you're hiding the receipt. It's expensive, man. My friend said she needed to go. She goes, oh, we've got to find a Victoria's Secret. Because their underwear is on sale for $10. I said, for one pair? I can go to Walmart and get a six-pack of britches for $10. Right? Of course, I realize now it's because the stitching is irregular. Because the pair that I had on the other day, the elastic that was around my right leg was extremely tight. So by the end of the day, I had kind of lost feeling in this leg. So by the end of the day, I was kind of having to do this just to get this leg, to get the feeling back in it, right? And then I realized, y'all, that's why the people at Walmart walk like that. You've seen them having to push in their cart. I used to wonder what was wrong with them, yo. That's just a cheap undie popping lock right there. I think that's where they got the inspiration for The Walking Dead. It's the same walk. It's Walmart after midnight there, man. It's true. But I needed something the other day, y'all. I needed something to record that man. It was hysterical. He called me up the other day. I said, honey, how's it going? And he goes, oh, I don't like this area I'm at. He said, I went out to dinner and a cougar tried to pick me up. Cougar? Y'all, my husband is over 55 years old. If an older woman's trying to pick him up, that's not a cougar. That's a saber-toothed tiger there. Oh. And look, I'm not making fun of getting older, y'all. I'm not. Because I'm getting older myself, right? And I don't know when that happened. Right, anyone with me? I don't know when that happened. I kind of feel like I went to bed one night and then I woke up and went, good Lord. How long was I sleeping? Somebody should have checked on me. And I really felt old the other day. I did. I went to the doctor for an appointment and he says to me, I do believe you are menopausal because you're irritable and you're moody. So he gave me a prescription for the irritability, and it's been working really good. It is. I've been giving it to my husband. Hey, he was menopausal long before me. And it was working good, too, until I caught him crying at a Publix commercial. You know, the one where they separated the little Pilgrim salt and pepper shakers? It's sad. It's a sad commercial. I had to stop dosing him. It was bad. It was too much. But I am getting older, y'all. I am. Things happen when you get older they don't tell you about. Like, for instance, when you get older and you pass gas, it's no longer silent. Now, those of you laughing the hardest know exactly what I'm talking about. Look at you. And you don't even know when it's going to happen. Something snuck out on me the other day, y'all. I hit the ground. I thought it was a car backfiring. There was an explosion. I had no idea what it was. And the funny thing about it, when I was on the ground, I'm looking at my husband. He thought I had opened fire on him. He was on the ground, man, scared to death. Horrible. And now that I'm older, I can't lose weight. I've always had a problem with my weight, but now that I'm older, I can't lose weight, right? I don't know if it's because I prayed for God to expand my territories. I didn't pray specific, because all kinds of things are expanding. I mean, I know my body is His temple, but I'm hosting too many potluck dinners or something. And my husband's like, it's because you're snacking. You're snacking. I said, I'm not snacking. I'm allergic to food because I eat and then I swell up. Sure, it's that gluten stuff or something, man. But I'm lucky. He's never said one word about my weight, which is nice, not one word. But I am a little suspicious because the other day he got a bumper sticker for the back of his truck. And it says, I love my husky. We don't have a dog. But I am getting older, y'all. I am. And you got to know your limitations when you get older. That's what I found out. You need to know your limitations. Right? Like, for instance, when we were driving here today, coming down 95, there was a 90-year-old man on a Harley-Davidson motorcycle. Nothing. It was distracting. And it wasn't because he was a bad driver or nothing, but it was that excess skin flapping against my windshield. Funny thing about it, y'all, when he was coming up behind me, I thought he was young. Know your limitations. And like when you're a little older, when you get a little older and you start getting a little absent-minded in your older age, that's when you become a Walmart greeter. Watch, next time you go in there, they'll go, hi, welcome to... Walmart. Perfect job to have, right? I went to IHOP the other morning to get some breakfast, and the seating hostess was an elderly woman. She was showing me to my table. She forgot. I followed her around that entire restaurant for 10 minutes. Well, then we end up in the bathroom. So now she's screaming, right? And in comes the security guard, and she goes, this woman was following me. I said, she was showing me to my table. The security guard looked at me and said, ma'am, this is Home Depot. Don't like this aging thing at all, man. I don't. Really felt old the other day, too, because I went to take a picture of my grandchildren. Yeah, I have grandchildren. But I went to take a picture of them, so I'm looking down at my phone, and I flipped the camera on. Y'all have done that before. It was in selfie mode, so it was looking down. I was looking down at it, and it was looking up at me. Y'all done that before? I was a little confused at first, because I didn't remember taking a picture of a Shar-Pei puppy. What is it? Oh, good Lord, that's me. That scared me to death. Talk about feeling old. And now I know why my husband closes his eyes when I bend over to kiss him. I thought he was being all romantic. Nope, it's because Jabba the Hutt's coming in for a landing. Think about that picture next time you bend over to kiss someone. Think about that one right there. But I am officially older, y'all. I am, because I am a grandma. That's like I said. Oh, right. Oh, grandkids are awesome, man. Awesome grandkids. Love them. But they're so smart. So smart these days. My grandbaby, 18 months old, she can say a few words but not do like a full sentence. So if she needs you to do something, she will walk over to you and she will grab your hand and she will lead you to it and put your hand on it. Right? I'm like, that's genius. I'm going to try that. I went home and I got my husband's hand and I led him outside and I put it on the lawnmower. He looked at me and said, "You want me to start that for you?" Yeah. But kids, man, they are smart these days, aren't they? She can get on my daughter's iPhone, flip through it, and find Mickey Mouse and play games, right? 18 months old. I have trouble finding my phone. Round of applause. You ever lost your cell phone? Let me hear you if you've lost your cell phone. Oh, don't you hate that? Oh, my goodness. Talk about panicking, right? Where's my cell phone? Horrible, especially if you've lost it and it's on silent. Like, I'm never going to get it back. But I lost my cell phone the other day. I went to the grocery store, got home, realized my phone case was empty. Tore my truck up looking for that phone. Checked my bags, checked my truck. 10 minutes later, realized I was talking on it. And I know I'm not the only one that's happened to. Round of applause if you've ever been on your phone looking for your phone. Yes, you have. And panic-stricken. I'm going to have to call you back. I can't find my phone. True story. And y'all, the funniest thing about it for me, right? I'm on the phone and I'm talking to my sister. And she's on the other end trying to help me find it. Oh my goodness, did you check the bags? I tell you what, hang up and call the grocery store. That's when I realized we take after the hillbillies. Well, not really, y'all, because my mama, I told her that story, saying, "Mama, I thought I lost my cell phone," right? And I'm like a lot of people, I don't have a house phone anymore, right? Nobody has a house phone. I have one phone, my cell phone, that's all I have. My mother's advice to me, honey, what you need to do is put your phone number on the phone. So if you lose it and somebody finds it, they can call you. I'm going to give y'all a minute to download that one. And I'm not sure what's worse, my mama giving me that advice or me taking it. Not sure. And I joke about my husband, y'all, but I love him. He's a good man. But he lets me go around telling stories on him. He's good. And he actually did something the other day that was extremely funny to me. He is a very athletic man. He likes working out, but he works a lot, so he can't always do that. So he got himself one of those TENS units. How many of y'all know what that thing is? Right, it's these little electrodes, and you put them on your muscle, and you turn it on, and it makes your muscle flinch, right? I walk in on him the other day, and he's clapping his hands, and I'm like, why is he clapping his hands? Y'all, he had taken that TENS unit and put one on each one of his chest muscles, turned it up as high as it could go, and flipped the switch. He's like this. And he's laughing, and he's clapping. He looked like one of the monkeys with the cymbals. You remember that thing? He couldn't, his arms were so out of control, he couldn't turn it off. So he's like this, and he was laughing, and I'm laughing. I had to shut it off for him after I stopped filming it and putting it on YouTube. It was so funny, man. That's what he does. But he is a good man, and I love him to death. I do. And I tell you what, I think it's a whole lot easier anyway these days to be married than it is to date. It is. And I hate to say this, ladies, I hate to say it, but I think men have it worse when it comes to dating than women. Look, the men are applauding. They're like, amen. It's true because see, we women, we're lucky. We see a nice-looking man, it's a nice-looking man, right? An occasional toupee, but for the most part, you know it, right? It's not like you're running your fingers through his hair and you go, oop, I'm so sorry. Ch-ch-ch-chia. But when a man sees a pretty woman, he has no idea. Right, in this day and age, with the colored contact lenses, false eyelashes, fake fingernails, hair dye, hair extensions, right, he has no idea what he's looking at. That's why I think we women should have warning labels. Objects in makeup may be uglier than they appear.
Possible side effects include nausea, dry mouth, and diarrhea.
Trust me, you got to marry that woman for what's on the inside. That outside's going to fade fast, man. Once you say I do, you've got no idea what's going to peel off, fall off, flake off, or wear off. You don't believe me, you ask my husband. Every time he sees me without makeup on, he tases himself. He says it's less painful. I don't care, at least he's drooling over me. That's all how you look at it. But I really got to thinking that it is kind of crazy, everything we women do to look good for a man. It really is, isn't it, ladies? We do everything from A to Z. Airbrush, Botox, collagen diets, emulsifiers, facials, girdles, hoisted, jerked, injected, killed, lipoed, microderm, nipped, operated, peeled, coiffed, rhinoplasty, sucked, tucked, underwired, vex, waxed, exfoliated, yanked, and Zumba. It's true. You men don't believe me. Well, let's do it in ladies' beauty products. Almay, Bonnieville, CoverGirl, Dove, Estee, Flirt, Goody, Hydroxytone, Isotoma, Jergens, Coraline, K, Mary Kay, Noxzema, Olay, Pantene, Quest, Revlon, Sephora, Ulta, Veet, Weight Watchers, XO, Yes, and Zoloft. Okay, I realize that Zoloft isn't a beauty product. But if A through Y doesn't work at Z, he don't care. All right, did the first A to Z go a little fast for you? You want me to slow it down? Thank you. A is for airbrush, that's spray makeup paint. B is for Botox, they laugh but they can't. C is for collagen to plump up the lips, and D is for diet to slender the hips. E is exfoliate to scrub off the skin, and F is for facial to put it on again. G is for girdle, a woman's best friend. H is for hoisting that saggy hind end. I is injections, God only knows where. J is for jerk, tweeze, and pluck out the hair. K is for the Cleo that cleanses inside, and L is for lipo to suck fat from thighs. M is for microderm, to be more refined. N is for nip, so your chin's not like mine. O is for operate, like they do in LA. P is for peel from a chemical spray. Q is for coif, which cleanses you more. R is for rhinoplasty, for a nose you'll adore. S is for sucking your tummy and cheek. T is for tuck when that starts looking bleak. U is for underwire to hold things up high. V is for vex because you just don't know why. W is for wax so your lip is not like his. X is extreme because that's what this is. Y is for yank to get up your pants. And Z is for Zumba, a Latin exercise dance. We do all that to look good for you men, and we're happy when you take a shower. Look at the ladies applauding, going, I do like Saturday. Saturday's a good day. It's a good day. Oh, man, this is fun being out here. Oh, my goodness. I love doing church events. Absolutely love doing church events. It's my favorite, because when I talk about Jesus, y'all know who he is. Oh, it's awesome. But there's a lot of things that I've realized over the past few years that I don't understand. Right? I think all of us do. So that's how I end my show, with a list of things I don't understand. I don't understand why spandex clothing is sold in extra, extra, extra large. Right? Y'all are laughing. You know what I'm talking about. Now, look, I know my limitations. I don't have them little spandex biker shorts, just like I don't have a belly button ring. Because I think if you have to lift a layer of fat to show someone the ring, then it might not be attractive. Hold on a minute, it's in here somewhere. Wait till you see it. See, look. Oh, wait, that's not it. I'm sorry. Hold on. That's the same reason I don't have a string bikini. Kid you not. My best friend said, you have to try it on. It looks good on everybody. She was lying. I tried on a string bikini, and you could not see the strings. It's a horrible thing. I don't... He's like, I'm never going to get that picture out of my head. Sorry. I'll have to pray for forgiveness. That's a bad one. I don't understand why when you go into a bathroom, some of the things are animated and some are not. Automated. Animated. I walk in and the toilet's dancing. I'm leaving. Automated. You know what I mean, right? I went into a bathroom the other day. I put my hands underneath the soap dispenser, and it gave me the soap. I went over, I put my hands underneath the sink, nothing happened. Well, I'm moving around. Next thing you know, I'm dancing around like a sprayed cockroach, trying to get that thing to go off. A little girl walks in, looks at me like I should be using crayons, and turns the water on for me. Thank you. And then I went over to the hand dryer, and it was one of those turbo hand dryers. Y'all, right? Oh, they don't even need toilet paper in them bathrooms. That's intense, right? But it's true. But it's better than those old hand dryers you had. Remember the old ones? Kind of like having an old man breathe on you? You know which ones I mean. Look at him. It's true, right? You're like... It's true, isn't it? Oh, I don't understand why when you're on an airplane, the pilot feels the need to tell you the cruising altitude. Right, y'all with me? It's like, we've reached our cruising altitude of 36,000 feet. Does anyone know how high that is? I don't need to know that. Lie to me. I'm a woman. I'm used to it. We've reached our cruising altitude of 36 feet. Thank you. Now, look, I understand that's because I have a fear of flying, okay? And I do. I have a fear of flying. But I have to clarify that for y'all. Not a fear of dying. I'm not afraid to die. I know where I'm going to go when I die. Not my issue, right? Not my issue. It's how I get there. That's what I think about. That's my issue. Am I going to die in a plane crash? Am I going to die of electrocution because my judge was not a woman? That's what I think of right there. And this one woman said, oh, but flying is so much safer than driving. What? No. When I'm in an automobile, I have on a seatbelt. In the event of a crash, I'm safe. Yes, I have on a seatbelt in an airplane too. That's only so in the event of a crash, they can identify my remains by my seat number. It's not as if at 36,000 feet, I'm going to do this. Boy, am I glad I had that seatbelt on. Oh, that could have been bad. Anyone else in here realize if you take the letters in the word turbulence and you scramble them around, you get clean your butt? You're trying it, aren't you? Yeah. It's true. And why is it in the events of an emergency and the airplane's going down, they drop oxygen out of the overhead? Well, we'd hate for you to pass out just before we slam into the ground. I'd rather pass out. I got an idea. If you're going to drop me something out of the overhead, you drop me down some nitrous oxide. I'll laugh my way down. So when I die and I'm standing in front of St. Peter, and he goes, "My child, how did you get here?" I will look at him and I will say, was one way. I don't understand the women that wear high heels when they go to the fair. How many of y'all seen them? High heels at the fair, right? I'm like, you really trying to find a man at the fair? You think maybe the man of your dreams is operating that Ferris wheel? Now look, I don't know about y'all, but when I leave the fair, I feel better about myself. And my husband feels a whole lot better about me, right? He thinks I'm a bad wife. We go to the fair. I'm a trophy wife out there, man, because I got most of my teeth. It's just like every time he says our house looks messy, I put on an episode of Hoarders. Next to those freaks, I'm Martha Stewart. But I do have a confession. I am what you would call a border hoarder. I'm almost a hoarder. But that's my husband's fault, because he left his clothes on the floor, and I got tired of picking them up. So I said, I wonder if I leave them there, how long they'll stay. Long story short, I'm one dead cat away from being on that TV show. Stuff everywhere. Lord have mercy. I don't understand why they call skinny jeans, because that's false advertising. I don't care how many I try on. I don't look skinny. I look like a golf ball on a tee. I'm giving you a minute for that visual. Okay, picture the little dimples, all of it, the whole thing. They shouldn't call them skinny jeans. They should call them bakery britches, man. Because all they do is up a muffin top. Do you know the Muffin Man? We all do. His name is Levi Strauss. He's the Muffin Man. The only good thing about those jeans for me when I tried them on is there was so much stuff being pushed up over the top that for the first time in my life, I had cleavage. It was awesome. But those skinny jeans are hard to get up, y'all, and I think that's why the young people that wear them don't pull them up all the way. Because they can. They're like, that's crazy. I thought it was bad enough with the big baggy jeans, right? Y'all saw that, the big baggy jeans started off here and then it got down to here and they're walking like this to keep their pants up. And I don't know if they do it here in Miami. In Pinellas Park, they pull their pockets inside out. Y'all seen that? So I'm thinking, great, not only do you look ridiculous, everyone knows you're broke. Good luck getting a girlfriend, right? Oh, but those skinny jeans are hard to get up. They are. And I don't think you men realize that that is the real reason that two women go to the bathroom together. Look at the ladies, right? We're not talking about them. One woman's helping the other to get them pants pulled back up. You men think I'm kidding. You men use this little loop on the side of your jeans for your belt, don't you? We ladies use that as a hoist, don't we, ladies? Come on, ladies, round of applause if you use this loop to get your britches up. Yes, you do. Only this side for some reason. Not this side, only this side. It's true, it is. Ladies, round of applause if you've ever broken this loop off. Yes, you have. Every one of my jeans has this thing waving in the wind going, well, I held on as long as I could. She needed a bigger size. She should have got the bigger size. Oh, but when I had them skinny jeans on in the dressing room, y'all, and I had all that stuff pushed up over the top, a saleswoman walked in on me. She went, oh my. And she brought me in a pair of Spanx. Now, see, women are chuckling, right? And men are going, Spanx. What is this thing of which I've heard? Gentlemen, I'm going to get y'all up to snuff. Spanx is a full one-piece body girdle. It goes from here, kid you not, all the way up to here. It has shoulder straps. It goes up and over to hold it into place. It is made out of this rubber lycra spandex material that is about 5 sizes smaller than that woman would ever dream of trying to squeeze into. Me trying to shimmy into that thing was the equivalent of getting a king-size mattress into a smart car. A lot of the same pushing and shoving, all right? And I thought it was hard to get on. It's harder to take off, isn't it? Right? It is a good thing it had an opening in the bottom to go to the bathroom out of. It is, because I wore it for a week. I got some strange looks at the beach, I'll tell you that much. That one-piece body girdle and that two-piece bathing suit. It would have helped if that girdle wasn't black. A little less obvious. I had to wait for the elastic to wear out before I could get that thing off. It didn't take long because it was under a lot of stress. But even then, y'all, I only had just enough room in there to get a pair of scissors in there. I had to cut myself out, kind of like the jaws of life. And I didn't think it through, y'all. I did not think it through. Because I should have taken them scissors and cut down like this, but I did not. I cut across like this. That rubber rolled up, rolled down like window shades. My husband walked in. He took one look at me and tased himself. It was horrible. Y'all having a good time this evening? Whew. I got one more joke for you, but before I get out of here, I will have some merchandise for sale after the show. Of course, you all know I did all clean comedy for you, obviously, because we're a church. But I do that same comedy that you saw me do here in the secular comedy clubs across the country. And I do it to give glory to God, and that's my mission field. And I call it, thank you. I call it Stand Up for Him, because this is the United States of America. We need to stand up for what we believe in. And in God I trust. So that is why I do what I do. So I have T-shirts available after the show. The T-shirts all keep me doing what I'm doing and fund my mission field. If you have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that, follow me, like me, how all that stuff is. Don't worry, I don't take like pictures of my food and stuff because I'd never be off of it. I'd be on there all the time. And I also have stickers that are like that, bumper stickers, and they're back there for a donation of any amount. So, y'all, I never thought ever in my entire life that God could call me to do anything. I didn't. I got started in comedy in my mid-40s, and I used to stock shelves at Publix and mow lawns for a living. That was what I did. And God called me to do comedy. He said, I want you to quit your job at Publix. Now, y'all, I knew nothing about comedy, absolutely nothing. The way it worked is someone signed me up for an open mic one night, and I was 42 years old, signed me up for an open mic one night. There was a contest. I won the contest. I went through to the semifinals. I advanced from the semifinals to the finals. I mean, it was really cool, and I enjoyed it. But I'm a wife and a mom, and so doing comedy wasn't something I could do. But I did a few things here and there, and it was going well, but I still knew nothing about comedy. And here's God telling me, I want you to quit your job at Publix and do comedy. And I, as a good Christian woman, said no. I'm like, Lord, I live paycheck to paycheck. I have no savings. I have no retirement. I have absolutely nothing. And the Lord said, if you did, it wouldn't be a leap of faith. And I went, nee, me, me, nee, me, nee. He's always got the answers. It's like he's God or something, right? So I'm just sure that there's no way I can do this, right? I can't do comedy. And so I go to my sister. Now, my sister worked with me at Publix, right? Now, she has been working there 42 years. This woman bleeds green, okay? So I go, sister, I need to quit Publix. God's telling me I need to quit Publix. And she goes, you can't. You don't have anything. You don't have a retirement. What are you going to fall back on? And I'm like, okay, yeah, I don't have a retirement. You're right. I don't have a retirement, right? And still God's just saying, this is what I want you to do. So that next Sunday when I was getting ready for church, I flip on the TV, and it's Dr. Charles Stanley. Y'all know who Dr. Charles Stanley is, right? Isn't he awesome? He's awesome. The very first thing he said when I flipped it on is, you never retire from doing the will of God. I was like, okay. And I realized it's true. I never retire from doing the will of God. I can't mow lawns when I'm 90. I can't stock shelves when I'm 90, but I could talk about Jesus my whole life. No worries, I got this. So I went to church, and I'm sitting there on the front row with my sister, because that's where God is. He's on the front row in church, right? So I'm on the front row in church. God's telling me I need to do comedy. I know nothing about it, but I'm sitting there, and I'm just like, okay, Lord, I'm thinking I need to do this, but I don't know. Well, right before the pastor started to preach that morning, and we were in a big congregation, he comes walking out in front of the podium, and he says, I have to do this. There's something I have to do. He said, there's somebody out here that God is calling you to do something. And it may mean quitting your job. It may mean losing everything that you're used to doing. But trust him and do what he's telling you to do. My sister looks over at me, and she goes, you have to quit Publix. I'm like, I know, I told you, I got to quit Publix. So I'm like, all right, I got to quit Publix. Okay. So I'm driving home that day. Y'all, I only live about 4 miles away from my church. I think it took me 20 minutes to get home, okay? Because I'm thinking, how am I going to tell my husband, right, that God wants me to quit Publix when we live paycheck to paycheck and pursue comedy, when I have one booking on my books and know nothing about comedy, right? So I'm driving, and I'm like, Lord, if you want this to happen, Lord, you're going to have to make this happen. So I get home, and I pull in the driveway. My hands are still on the 10 and 2 position on the truck. And my husband walks over to the window and goes, how's church? And I went, fine. I said, I want to quit my job. And he goes, yeah, don't we all? And he walked away. I follow after him. And I said, no, I really think that God is calling me to quit my job and pursue comedy. And he looked me right in the eye, and he goes, okay. And he walked away. And I went, you're good. Okay. Now, y'all, I knew nothing about comedy. Like I said, nothing. I didn't know how to get started. I didn't know how to do it. But I know that every time I was going into a club, which I only did a few times, God was opening doors for me. Now, I didn't realize that because I thought comedy worked that way for everyone. But I didn't realize until later that it didn't. Well, there's this chain of comedy clubs that are all over Florida called Bonkers Comedy Clubs. How many of y'all know what Bonkers Comedy Clubs are? A few of you? Nobody? Okay, anyway. Trust me, they're all over Florida. So I had called up Bonkers, and I said, how do I get in to be one of your comics? And they said, oh, what you do is you come down here on a Wednesday night in Orlando. Now, I live in Pinellas Park, St. Pete, Florida, so that's about a 2-hour drive on a Friday evening to get over there. And they said, you do what's called an open mic. That means you have 3 minutes behind the microphone. You do that. If the owner's here, he sees you and he likes you, he'll have you come back and do 5 minutes. Now, after you've done open mics over and over and over, if he sees you and he likes you, he'll have you come back and host a show. Now, a host pays $25, no hotel room. You'll host the show. Now, after you've hosted for a while, then you will eventually get up to a feature comic. Now, a feature comic will pay $75, no hotel room, but $75. Now, after you've featured for a long time, then eventually you become a headliner. And I'm like, oh, okay. I said, at this time my head's spinning, but I'm like, all right. I said, sign me up for the open mic and maybe the owner will like me when he sees me. And she goes, oh, well, we don't know if he's going to be here. So I'm thinking in my head, I'm going, you want me to drive on a Wednesday evening, which is a church night, from St. Petersburg to from St. Petersburg all the way to Orlando with the off chance that just maybe this man is going to be here. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't do that. All right, I can't afford the gas to go over there. My husband doesn't want me hanging out in a bar. I don't want to hang out in a bar. So I'm like, well, I'm not going to get in with Bonkers Comedy Clubs. So in the meantime, God's telling me I want you to quit Publix. So I went in and I gave Publix my 2 weeks notice. Right? I had my sister's permission. God telling me to do it. My pastor was on board. My husband was on board. I'm doing it. So I went in there and I gave my 2 weeks notice. And the manager says, no. He said, do a 30-day leave of absence. So that way, if it doesn't work, you can come back. And I went, oh, I can't do that. I said, I can't give God an ultimatum. I can't say, okay, Lord, you got 29 days. If that ain't work, we're going back. So I said, no, I can't do it. Turned in my 2 weeks notice. 3 days later, I get an email from the city of Kissimmee telling me I have been chosen to compete in the Central Florida's Funniest Person competition. And since God has the ultimate sense of humor, the night of that competition was my last day at Publix. So I'm at Publix. They throw a party for me with a Publix cake and everything in the shape of a microphone. I know, right? I leave there and I'm driving the 2 hours to Kissimmee, Florida, crying the entire way, going, what have I done? This makes no sense. When I got to this competition, there was only 5 comedians in the competition. I was the only female. That was pretty cool. But what they did is they decided to hold this competition like American Idol. They had 3 judges in the audience. One of the judges was the owner of Bonkers Comedy Club. The man that I said, there's no way I can get in front of, God said, you do what I tell you to do, and you see what I can do. That is our Jesus. So the competition went well. I did not win. It would have been nice because there was a cash prize involved, okay? But I did not win. I came in runner-up, second place. But what was great is the owner of Bonkers came up to me after the show, and he said, you're really funny. He said, how much time can you do on stage? Now, y'all, I had just started out, and I said, I can do about 20 minutes. He said, all right, I want you to send me your avails. I said, okay. As soon as I find out what that is. Because I had no idea what avails was. Y'all, I'm not a comic. Avails is your available dates that you can work. I had only 1 booking on my book, so I sent him my calendar. Pick a day. He sent me back an email booking me as a feature comedian at 8 of his comedy clubs. That is what God can do. Within a 2-week period of time, I went from having 1 booking on my books to having 9 bookings on my books, just because I said yes. So what I am here to do now is to just in that brief story, I hope I have encouraged you that if God has called you to do something, which each one of us has a specific calling in life to do, that he has equipped you to do. Am I saying you're going to come up here and stand on the stage and tell jokes? No, because you're not funny. You may be, who knows, you may be, but you have something that only you can do. You were created wonderfully by our Lord and Savior. Something for him that he has you to do. So don't be afraid. I don't care how young you are. I don't care how old you are. I don't care that you don't think that you can do it, because you know what? That's when God's calling you. It's when you can't do it yourself that he is going to do it through you. So have faith in him, because the only regret you will ever have when you step out in faith is that you did not do it sooner. Okay? All right, so I'm going to close this with a joke you can tell tomorrow. Because what y'all are going to do is you're going to try to tell my jokes and get them all screwed up. Okay, so here we go. Joke you can tell tomorrow. There were 3 ladies that passed away, and they went up to heaven. So they're up in heaven, and St. Peter says, ladies, all of heaven is for you to enjoy absolutely everything. We have no rules here, only one: do not step on a little duck. Okay, they thought that was crazy. So they're walking out into heaven, and it's glorious and beautiful, and sure enough, the first woman steps on a little duck right away. Here comes St. Peter out of nowhere with the ugliest man she's ever seen in her entire life, okay? He walks over to her, chains him to her leg, and walks away and says, for all of eternity. Well, the other 2 women saw this and said, that's not happening to me. There's no way. But sure enough, about 3 months later, a second woman stepped on a little duck. Again, here comes St. Peter out of nowhere with the ugliest man she's ever seen in her entire life, chains him to her leg and says, for all of eternity, and walks away. Third woman goes, there is no way this is happening to me. She was doing the little ducky shuffle in heaven, man. She was not going to step on a duck. 5 years to the day of her not stepping on a little duck, here comes St. Peter with the most handsome man she's ever seen in her life. Tall, dark, handsome, piercing blue eyes. He walks over to her, chains him to her leg, says, for all of eternity, and walks away. She was thrilled. She's like, oh my gosh, 5 years, I didn't step on a duck. I can't believe it. I don't know what I did, though, to deserve you. And he said, I don't know what you did, but I stepped on a duck. God bless you all. Thank you so very much.